Alrighty, what have we got today? Ball. How unfortunate. So not a lot going on here. There's no village and only very minimal draw. You could draw... Oh, I can't right click from this position. You could draw net one card by trashing something with Zombie Apprentice using Necromancer's effect per turn. That it looks like it's net two cards, but you're trashing a card from hand. That comes up, but it's not like something you can build an engine around. At the bottom of the Augur's pile, there's Sybil, which is like a laboratory's worth of draw. Again, deceiving because you have to put two cards back. And there's Black Cat, which is terminal draw, but can become non-terminal when your opponent buys victory cards. Again, not something you can build an engine around because your opponent has to activate it for you. So there's not really a good way to draw cards. There's literally no village. Thinning's fine. You got Trading Post, Sailor. Trader's not good at thinning, but it is thinning. And gains, there's Lurker, and Herb Gatherer has plus buy on it. But the lack of actions and draw means you can't really build here. Which probably means I'm in danger. But it's decent at money, and this looks like a big money kingdom. Wall exists, so you definitely want to get thin. And Windfall could potentially be relevant if we're thinning anyway. I'm not sure if you can get that thin, but maybe. So what to do here? Baker is a decent big money card. I could see that coming in handy. Pick up a Baker. The coffers help smooth out your turns, so you hit 888 instead of like 7979. Not totally obvious. I'm pretty sure I want a Baker, but it doesn't mean I open it. Sailor and Trading Post both seem like reasonable openings. I'm not sure whether I'm trying to get thin enough to take Windfall or not. I don't really know. There's also the stack of Black Cats to worry about. Curses can be trashed here, but if you take them in the end game before you have a chance to trash them, they're also worth one extra negative victory point. So a stack of Black Cats could be relevant. There is Fairgrounds, which in theory could suggest building like a little bit longer or a more diverse deck, but I don't think there's time for that with Wall around, because if you have to put a bunch of other cards in your deck to make Fairgrounds work, well, that's a bunch of negative victory points. Wall has it pushes you very strong to building the most minimalist deck you can and then greeting it early. In part because the thing I would point to is the relationship between duchies and provinces. Like normally province is 6, duchy is 3, and so if you lose the profit split 5-3, you got to make up 2 provinces by getting 4 extra duchies. With Wall around, functionally provinces are 5 and duchies are 2, which makes it a lot harder to come back taking duchies if you're behind on provinces. So you really want to get 5 provinces. I feel like the thing the bot is likely to do is also likely to be the correct thing here, which is just like a Baker or 2, a gold or 2, and then a bunch of Black Cats. That's my sneaking suspicion. Oh! Well, there's Trader. I said it's terrible at thinning. But it like... okay, forget I even said anything. There's Watchtower, which is Trader but good. Yeah, that's potentially a major oversight. So, Trader kind of counters Black Cat because you can gain a silver for every curse they give you. That's uncountered by Wall. Because if you're taking a bunch of silvers in your last turn, that's still a -1 victory point per silver. It just reduces it from -2 to -1. So Trader doesn't fully counter Black Cat, but Watchtower does it in the same way, which is just you can trash the curses as they come in. So you probably want a Watchtower, and then you can green whenever you have the Watchtower in hand. Okay, well that sounds good. So I want a Watchtower, I think. If I want a Watchtower, that kind of synergizes with Sailor. You can play Sailor from your hand and draw extra with Watchtower. I'm currently thinking like double Sailor into trying to thin enough to hit Windfall once, and then add like a Watchtower, maybe an Herb Gatherer for plus buy, 1 Baker. Is that too much building? Just like some Sailors, a Watchtower, an Herb Gatherer, a Baker, Windfall, and green. Other option would be something like, I don't know, Trading Post, and then I don't like opening Watchtower all that badly. It's mostly helpful later in the game. I'm going to go with the Sailor route. Can't complain about this hand. Do I want a free kitty? Or a lurker? Oh, another interaction. I didn't think too much about Necromancer here, but because of Necromancer, there are zombies in the trash, and Lurker can gain them. The trouble is, the zombies like being in the trash. I'm a big Necromancer fan. Good card, very fun card, one of the most fun cards in Dominion. But part of the value is you got those 3 cards that are all in the trash, and you can choose when to use them as you wish. You know, if you line up Apprentice or Mason at the right time, you can use it then, and if you don't, you just play it as Zombie Spy. But with Lurker, you're not getting the option. You pull one of those out of the trash, and then you always have it in your deck whether you want it or not, which is not necessarily that good. I don't think the bot's likely to take the zombies, though. Again, partly just because the engine doesn't do very much here. So I'm thinking maybe I could take a Lurker, take a Necromancer, and then if I don't want the Lurker later, which it'll probably outlive its utility, I can Zombie Apprentice it again. I'm going to try this. We'll see if it goes anywhere. Take the Baker now. Watchtower. Let's take another Baker. Another Sailor. Am I getting to Windfall territory? Could this be it here? Okay. That was faster than I thought. This could be Province already. Again, I don't really plan on building here. The only thing that has me thinking is the Black Cat. So I don't have a Watchtower in hand yet. The bot just played a Black Cat and it bought a Black Cat. So 2 of his 3 Black Cats are definitely in the discard pile. Potentially all 3. You only spent 2 coppers here. So that's a number of cards in his hand that are unaccounted for that could be the 3rd Black Cat. I'm probably taking at most 1 curse, although it's technically possible. There's like a 1/4 chance that even if it has a Black Cat in hand, it could draw, then find a second Black Cat. I think it's worth going for. Oh no, it got me. Not the end of the world. Fairly thin. I think this is Herb Gatherer. Ironically, because I have the Watchtower in hand, so now would be the time that I'd be wanting to buy the province. I think this is worth top decking. Maybe it's not. The Herb Gatherer potentially relevant later in the game because it helps you break the like one province back and forth symmetry if it comes to that, because you can theoretically threaten double province with some accumulated Baker stuff. I don't need to do that right now. And the main reason not to top deck it was I wanted to make sure my sailors both found targets, and so I want to find junk on top. Don't think it's quite time for this lurker to die. Bot's got a clean shuffle. And I don't have a watchtower in hand. It also has 4 black cats. Just gonna go ahead and take the Necromancer, I think. Buy province this turn. So this still helps the bot, even though I blocked all the curses, because it got to play all those black cats, and now it has a bunch of cards in hand. Alright, bot hit its windfall off of that. So I have a Necromancer and the bot doesn't. I could put a card I potentially want to play in the trash and just leave it there, so the Necromancer has an extra target. Something like an Herb Gatherer, maybe. I don't think I want to take anything out of the trash. Or a Baker. Baker's probably the best card. Not rotate. And could be a Sailor, which I can play immediately because I have a Sailor that I just played. Could also be a second Watchtower because I do value having the Watchtower in hand a lot. I think those are the two options here. Take the Watchtower. And I think I'm gonna trash the lurker now. Is that true? If Wall didn't exist, I would definitely not trash the lurker. For example, I can gain that Baker, top deck it with Watchtower, and then immediately play it, which is nice. But gaining an extra card versus trashing an extra card is like -2 victory points in this kingdom, so that's not obvious. I think I'm once again going to hold on to it just because that play still sounds really nice. I also messed it up. Shit. That was the brain fart. I had to do the lurker before I played all the Bakers, so that when I top deck the Baker, I don't draw the Watchtower. I play the lurker, top deck a Baker, play the other Baker, and draw it. Yeah, that was dumb. Whoopsie-daisy. Well, I guess I'll gain it and not top deck it. I just messed up there. Unfortunately, I found both my Watchtowers. I mean, my bottom half of my deck doesn't look great. I found my Necromancer, so I can't Zombie Apprentice to draw through it all either. I'm thinking next turn's not going to be so hot. Okay. Well, there's only one province left. Sorry, not one province left. There's 3 provinces left. There's 1 curse left. So I think it's worth taking this anyway. The bot does not have plus buy. Okay, hit me with your curse. Cannot say with confidence that this is a misplay. So obviously it looks a little bit silly, but if you're hitting 8 anyway and you have an excess of coffers, that actually probably the reverse. It probably is the correct play, because with wall, every one of those you trash is like +1 coin, and it seems like money is basically no object for the bot at the moment. I wonder if I should follow suit and trash a gold. I'm gonna do it. Oh man, that curse was so close to being in the right spot. Did not quite get to trash it. And this is a win in hand. I don't think the bot has any way to score enough here. Can't trash a bunch of cards. Can't buy 2 things. Okay, I was worried about this kingdom, but it turned out quite alright. So the bot, I believe, did its normal thing and just... Okay, it opened with Sailor and a black cat, and then it just started to take a bunch of black cats, right? I like the sailors. The sailors make sense, and the baker makes sense. Okay, there's the black cat. There's a black cat. There's a black... Okay, this is the hard bot, I know. And black cat, I think, is a pretty good card in kingdoms like this, with the exception that Watchtower exists. I think if you remove Watchtower, Black Cat starts to look really good, because like Black Cat's fairly weak in engines that are usually only scoring over 1 or 2 turns, because you're just filling your deck with a card that's just like a bad terminal draw card until your opponent activates it for you, and you can't count on your opponent buying a victory card every turn. They can easily play around that. In a money kingdom, there's not really much of an alternative to buying a victory card every turn. There's not much more your deck can do. And with wall especially, there's very little incentive to build very large. So all that points towards Black Cat, except that Watchtower can trash the curse, if it really declaws it. I think the bot just missed that interaction. I think even Trader would not be enough to clearly make Black Cat wrong. It would maybe be relevant, but Watchtower is really the thing that kills Black Cat here. I like the sailors into Watchtower, early windfall, all that seemed great. Stuff that ended up not being as relevant. The Herb Gatherer was basically just like an extra gold for most of the time. I ended up not using the plus buy at all. I think that could have been relevant, again, if this game were a little bit closer, like the provinces split 3-3 and we start duchy dancing, then you might be in a situation where you accumulate a bunch of coffers and you need the ability to buy 2 things in a turn. So I think it could have been relevant if the game were a little bit different. Also, Necromancer, one of my favorite cards, ended up not seeing play. I drew it down with Watchtower. Ideal turn for Necromancer in this kingdom was probably Zombie Apprentice the Lurker, get it back out of my deck, draw 3 cards. Something like that would have been really nice. So I think there are situations where that could have been valuable. I don't really regret the Necromancer. But I definitely like Sailors, Watchtower, like a Baker. I had more than 1 Baker, but you don't need more than 1 Baker, I don't think, to get the effective Baker. At least 1 Baker, and then start greening.